What if the key to overcoming life's toughest challenges has been hiding in plain sight for over 2,000 years? Picture this: you're stuck in traffic, running late for an important meeting, and your stress levels are through the roof. Now imagine if, instead of frustration, you could approach that moment with calm and clarity. This is the power of Stoicism, and one of its greatest teachers, Epictetus, offers timeless wisdom that can transform how we face life's ups and downs. Born a slave, Epictetus rose to become one of history's most influential philosophers, teaching that true freedom comes from mastering our own minds. His lessons aren't just ancient ideas, they're practical tools for navigating the chaos of modern life. In this video, we'll explore 30 of his most powerful teachings, each one designed to help you build resilience, find peace, and live with purpose. Whether you're dealing with stress, setbacks, or self-doubt, these lessons will show you how to take control of what truly matters: your thoughts, your actions, and your perspective. So, if you're ready to unlock the secrets of Stoic wisdom and transform the way you face life's challenges, let's dive in. Now, turning to the first lesson from Epictetus, we explore one of the most foundational principles of Stoicism, focusing on what you can control. Epictetus taught that the key to a peaceful and fulfilling life lies in understanding the difference between what is within our power and what is not. Our thoughts, actions, and reactions are entirely within our control, while external events, other people's opinions, and circumstances are not. This simple yet profound idea can be a game changer in how we approach life's challenges. For example, imagine you're preparing for an important presentation at work. You've done your research, practiced your delivery, and prepared thoroughly. But on the day of the presentation, technical issues delay your start time, and the audience seems distracted. In this situation, the technical glitches and the audience's behavior are outside your control. What you can control is how you respond, staying calm, adapting to the situation, and delivering your presentation with confidence. By focusing on what you can influence, you reduce unnecessary stress and make better decisions, even in unpredictable circumstances. This principle applies to countless everyday scenarios: traffic jams, unexpected delays, or even criticism from others. These are all things we can't control. But we can choose how we react to them. By shifting our focus to our own thoughts and actions, we reclaim our power and create a sense of inner stability. This lesson from Epictetus reminds us that true freedom comes not from controlling the world around us, but from mastering our own minds. And with that foundation, we're ready to move forward to the next lesson, accepting what we cannot control. Now, turning to the second lesson from Epictetus, we delve into the importance of accepting what we cannot control. This principle builds directly on the first lesson, taking it a step further. While focusing on what we can control empowers us, accepting what we cannot control liberates us from the frustration and resistance that often accompany life's unpredictability. Epictetus taught that trying to change or resist external circumstances only leads to unnecessary suffering. Instead, by embracing acceptance, we cultivate inner peace and resilience. Think of it like this: imagine you're caught in a sudden rainstorm without an umbrella. You can't stop the rain, but you can choose how you respond to it. You might feel annoyed or frustrated, but those emotions won't change the weather. Instead, accepting the situation allows you to adapt. Maybe you find shelter, laugh at the absurdity, or simply enjoy the refreshing coolness of the rain. This shift in perspective transforms what could have been a negative experience into something neutral or even positive. Practicing acceptance doesn't mean giving up or being passive. It means recognizing the reality of a situation and choosing not to fight against it. Here are a few practical ways to cultivate this mindset. First, when faced with a challenge, pause and ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, remind yourself that resisting it will only drain your energy. Second, practice reframing. Instead of seeing a situation as a problem, view it as an opportunity to practice patience or adaptability. Finally, develop a habit of gratitude. Even in difficult moments, there's often something to appreciate: a lesson learned, a moment of clarity, or the support of others. By accepting what we cannot control, we free ourselves from the weight of resistance and open the door to greater peace and clarity. This lesson from Epictetus teaches us that true strength lies not in battling the uncontrollable, but in embracing it with grace. And with this understanding, we're ready to explore the next lesson: how our perception shapes our reality. Now, turning to the third lesson from Epictetus, we explore the profound idea that it's not events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. This lesson builds on the previous ones, showing us that while we can't always control what happens to us, we can control how we interpret and respond to those events. Epictetus believed that our perceptions, our thoughts and beliefs about a situation are what truly shape our experience of reality. Think of it like this: imagine two people stuck in traffic. One person feels frustrated, angry, and stressed, cursing the delay and thinking about all the time they're wasting. The other person sees the same situation as an opportunity. Maybe they use the time to listen to an audiobook, reflect on their day, or simply enjoy a moment of stillness. The traffic itself hasn't changed, but the way each person perceives it creates entirely different experiences. This principle teaches us that our emotions and reactions are not dictated by external events, but by the meaning we assign to them. When we reframe our perspective, we can transform even the most challenging situations into opportunities for growth or learning. For example, losing a job might feel like a devastating setback, but it could also be seen as a chance to pursue a new passion or reevaluate your career path. Similarly, a disagreement with a friend might feel like a conflict, but it could also be an opportunity to deepen your understanding of each other. To apply this lesson in your own life, start by becoming more aware of your automatic judgments. When something upsetting happens, pause and ask yourself, what story am I telling myself about this situation? Then challenge that story. Is there another way to look at it? Could this situation have a silver lining or a hidden lesson? By consciously reframing your perspective, you can reduce distress and cultivate a more positive, resilient mindset. Epictetus reminds us that while we can't always control what happens, we can always control how we respond. And with this powerful insight, we're ready to move forward to the next lesson: the practice of voluntary discomfort, where we'll explore how embracing challenges can strengthen our resilience and gratitude. Now, turning to the fourth lesson from Epictetus, we delve into the Stoic practice of voluntary discomfort. This might sound counterintuitive at first. Why would anyone willingly choose to experience discomfort? But as Epictetus teaches us, this practice is a powerful tool for building resilience, gratitude, and mental strength. The idea is simple. By intentionally exposing ourselves to small, manageable challenges, we train our minds to handle larger difficulties with greater ease. Think of it like strengthening a muscle. Just as lifting weights builds physical strength, embracing discomfort builds emotional and mental resilience. One practical way to practice this is through fasting. Skipping a meal or two occasionally can help you appreciate the abundance of food you usually have and teach you to endure hunger without complaint. Similarly, taking cold showers can be a powerful exercise in self-discipline. The initial shock of cold water might feel unpleasant, but over time, it can help you develop a sense of control over your reactions and build mental toughness. Another way to practice voluntary discomfort is by simplifying your lifestyle. For example, try spending a day without your phone or other modern conveniences. This can help you realize how much you rely on these comforts and foster a deeper appreciation for them when you return to using them. The key here is not to punish yourself, but to intentionally step out of your comfort zone in small, meaningful ways. By doing so, you'll not only build resilience but also cultivate gratitude for the things you often take for granted. Epictetus believed that by embracing discomfort, we prepare ourselves to face life's inevitable challenges with courage and grace. And with this lesson in mind, we're ready to move forward to the next Stoic principle, cultivating inner freedom, where we'll explore how mastering our desires and aversions can lead to a more authentic and fulfilling life. Now turning to the fifth lesson from Epictetus, we explore the profound concept of inner freedom. Inner freedom, as Epictetus teaches, is not about external circumstances but about mastering our desires and aversions. It's about freeing ourselves from the chains of wanting what we don't have and fearing what we might lose. At its core, inner freedom is about aligning our desires with what is within our control and letting go of what is not. For example, if you desire wealth or fame, you're tying your happiness to external outcomes that are often beyond your power. But if you focus on cultivating virtues like wisdom, courage, and self-discipline, you're building a foundation of inner strength that no external event can shake. This lesson is especially relevant in today's world, where societal pressures often dictate what we should want or how we should live. Social media, advertising, and cultural norms constantly bombard us with messages about what success, happiness, and fulfillment should look like. But Epictetus reminds us that true freedom comes from within, from living in accordance with our own values and principles, not someone else's. So how can we cultivate this inner freedom? Start by examining your desires. Ask yourself, are these desires truly mine, or have they been imposed on me by society, family, or peers? Next, practice letting go of attachments to outcomes. Instead of fixating on achieving a specific result, focus on the effort and intention behind your actions. This shift in mindset can help you break free from the anxiety of unmet expectations and find peace in the present moment. Another powerful way to cultivate inner freedom is by practicing gratitude for what you already have. When you appreciate the abundance in your life, you naturally reduce the grip of unfulfilled desires. This doesn't mean you stop striving for growth or improvement. It simply means you stop letting those desires control your happiness. Epictetus believed that by mastering our desires and aversions, we could live authentically, free from the pressures and expectations of others. And with this lesson in mind, we're ready to move forward to the next Stoic principle, learning how to handle criticism with grace and confidence. Now turning to the sixth lesson from Epictetus, we delve into the art of handling criticism with grace and confidence. Criticism, whether it comes from others or from our own self-doubt, can feel like a heavy weight. But Epictetus teaches us that the key to overcoming this lies not in avoiding criticism, but in how we choose to respond to it. At the heart of this lesson is the idea that our worth is not determined by others' opinions. Instead, it's rooted in our own moral integrity, the values we live by, and the principles we uphold. When someone criticizes you, ask yourself, is this criticism based on truth? Does it align with my values? If the answer is no, then it's simply noise and you have the power to let it go. One practical strategy for handling criticism is to focus on what you can control: your own actions and reactions. When faced with judgment, take a moment to pause and reflect. Ask yourself, am I living in alignment with my values? If the answer is yes, then the criticism loses its power over you. This shift in perspective can help you stay grounded and confident, even in the face of harsh words. Another powerful tool is to practice self-compassion. Criticism often stings because it taps into our insecurities. But by treating yourself with kindness and understanding, you can build resilience against negative feedback. Remind yourself that no one is perfect and mistakes are opportunities for growth, not reasons for shame. Epictetus also encourages us to see criticism as a mirror. Sometimes the judgments of others can reveal areas where we need to improve. If the criticism is constructive, use it as a stepping stone for personal development. But if it's unfounded or malicious, recognize it for what it is: a reflection of the other person's insecurities, not your own. Ultimately, the lesson here is to focus on your own moral compass rather than seeking validation from others. When you live authentically and stay true to your values, criticism becomes less about you and more about the person delivering it. And with this mindset, you're ready to embrace the next Stoic principle, viewing adversity as an opportunity for growth. Now turning to the seventh lesson from Epictetus, we explore the transformative power of adversity. Life is full of challenges, but Epictetus teaches us that these obstacles are not roadblocks, they are opportunities. Adversity, when approached with the right mindset, can be a powerful teacher, shaping our character and strengthening our resilience. Epictetus believed that hardship is not something to be feared or avoided, but rather embraced as a natural part of life. He saw every difficulty as a chance to practice virtue, to test our limits and to grow stronger. Think of it like this: just as a muscle grows through resistance, our inner strength develops through the challenges we face. Consider the example of a professional athlete. They don't become champions by avoiding tough training sessions or difficult competitions. Instead, they embrace the struggle, knowing that each setback is a stepping stone to success. In the same way, when we face adversity in our own lives, we can choose to see it as a chance to build resilience and develop new skills. One practical way to reframe adversity is to ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? How can this challenge help me grow? By shifting your focus from what's going wrong to what you can gain, you turn obstacles into opportunities. For instance, losing a job might feel devastating at first, but it could also be the push you need to pursue a passion or develop new talents. Another key aspect of this lesson is the idea of perspective. Epictetus reminds us that it's not the event itself that defines us, but how we choose to respond to it. When faced with a difficult situation, ask yourself, is this within my control? If not, focus on how you can adapt and grow from the experience. This mindset not only reduces stress, but also empowers you to take charge of your own growth. Adversity also teaches us gratitude. When we overcome challenges, we gain a deeper appreciation for the good things in life. It's like the way a storm makes us value the sunshine even more. By embracing adversity, we learn to find meaning in our struggles and to celebrate our victories, no matter how small. Ultimately, Epictetus encourages us to see adversity as a gift, a chance to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. When we stop resisting life's challenges and start embracing them, we unlock our potential for growth and transformation. And with this mindset, we're ready to move forward to the next Stoic principle, living in harmony with nature and reason. Now turning to the eighth lesson from Epictetus, we delve into the Stoic principle of living in accordance with nature. This idea is central to Stoic philosophy and serves as a guide for how we should live our lives. At its core, living in accordance with nature means aligning our actions with the natural order of the world and the rational principles that govern it. It's about living in harmony with what is true, good, and meaningful. Epictetus teaches us that nature is not just the physical world around us, but also the nature of our own being, our capacity for reason, virtue, and self-awareness. To live in accordance with nature means to act in ways that reflect our highest potential as rational, ethical beings. This involves simplifying our lives, focusing on what truly matters, and letting go of distractions that pull us away from our purpose. One way to practice this principle is through mindfulness. By being fully present in each moment, we can better align our actions with our values and the natural flow of life. For example, instead of rushing through your day on autopilot, take a moment to pause and reflect on your choices. Ask yourself, does this action align with my values? Is it contributing to my growth and well-being? This simple practice can help you live more intentionally and authentically. Living in accordance with nature also encourages ethical living. Epictetus believed that our actions should not only benefit ourselves but also contribute to the greater good. This means treating others with kindness, fairness, and respect, and striving to make a positive impact in the world. When we live in harmony with nature, we recognize that we are part of a larger whole, and our choices have ripple effects that extend far beyond ourselves. Another aspect of this lesson is embracing simplicity. In a world filled with distractions and excess, living in accordance with nature means focusing on what is essential. This could mean decluttering your physical space, simplifying your schedule, or letting go of material possessions that no longer serve you. By doing so, you create space for what truly matters: relationships, personal growth, and inner peace. Epictetus also reminds us that living in accordance with nature requires acceptance. Just as the seasons change and the tides ebb and flow, life is full of cycles and impermanence. By accepting the natural order of things, we can find peace in the midst of change and uncertainty. This doesn't mean we should be passive, but rather that we should approach life with a sense of balance and equanimity. Ultimately, living in accordance with nature is about finding alignment within ourselves, with others, and with the world around us. It's a call to live authentically, mindfully, and ethically, guided by reason and virtue. And with this principle in mind, we're ready to explore the next Stoic lesson, the power of gratitude and how it can transform our lives. Now turning to the 9th lesson from Epictetus, we explore the transformative power of gratitude in Stoic philosophy. Gratitude is more than just a fleeting feeling of thankfulness. It's a practice that can profoundly shape our perspective and enhance our well-being. Epictetus teaches us that by focusing on what we have rather than what we lack, we cultivate a sense of contentment and inner peace. At its core, gratitude is about recognizing the value in the present moment and appreciating the blessings, no matter how small, that life offers us. This practice aligns perfectly with Stoic principles, as it shifts our focus from external desires to internal fulfillment. When we practice gratitude, we train our minds to see the good in every situation, even in the face of challenges. One practical way to cultivate gratitude is by keeping a daily gratitude journal. Each day, take a few moments to write down 3 things you're grateful for. These could be as simple as a kind word from a friend, a beautiful sunset, or even the opportunity to learn from a difficult experience. Over time, this habit helps rewire your brain to notice and appreciate the positive aspects of life, fostering a more optimistic outlook. Another powerful practice is to reflect on your blessings before you start or end your day. As you wake up or prepare for sleep, take a moment to mentally list the things you're thankful for. This simple act can set a positive tone for your day or help you unwind with a sense of peace and fulfillment. It's a reminder that even in the midst of life's chaos, there is always something to be grateful for. Epictetus also encourages us to extend gratitude beyond material possessions or personal achievements. He reminds us to appreciate the people in our lives, the lessons we've learned, and even the challenges that have shaped us. By doing so, we develop a deeper sense of connection to the world around us and a greater appreciation for the interconnectedness of all things. Practicing gratitude doesn't mean ignoring life's difficulties or pretending everything is perfect. Instead, it's about finding balance, acknowledging the hardships while also recognizing the good. This mindset helps us build resilience and maintain a sense of perspective, even in tough times. Ultimately, gratitude is a tool for living a more meaningful and fulfilling life. It reminds us to cherish the present, embrace the lessons of the past, and approach the future with hope and optimism. And with this lesson in mind, we're ready to move forward to the next Stoic teaching, how to break the habit of complaining and focus on what truly matters. Now turning to the 10th lesson from Epictetus, we delve into the importance of avoiding complaints and how this practice can transform our daily lives. Complaining, as Epictetus teaches us, is not only a waste of energy but also a distraction from taking meaningful action. When we focus on what's wrong or unfair, we give away our power to change the situation. Instead, Stoicism encourages us to channel that energy into finding solutions or accepting what we cannot control. Complaining often stems from a sense of helplessness or frustration, but it rarely leads to resolution. In fact, it can trap us in a cycle of negativity, making it harder to see opportunities for growth or improvement. Epictetus reminds us that while we can't always control external events, we can control how we respond to them. By shifting our focus from what's wrong to what we can do, we reclaim our agency and open the door to progress. One effective way to break the habit of complaining is to practice mindfulness. When you catch yourself starting to complain, pause and ask yourself, is this within my control? If it is, focus on taking action rather than venting. If it's not, practice acceptance and let go of the need to dwell on it. Mindfulness helps us become more aware of our thoughts and reactions, allowing us to choose a more constructive path. Another alternative is to reframe the situation. Instead of focusing on the problem, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? This shift in perspective turns challenges into opportunities for self-improvement. For example, if you're stuck in traffic, instead of complaining about the delay, use the time to listen to a podcast or reflect on your goals. By finding value in the moment, you transform a frustrating situation into a productive one. Epictetus also encourages us to focus on what truly matters. Often, complaints arise from trivial or temporary inconveniences that don't have a lasting impact on our lives. By reminding ourselves of our bigger goals and values, we can let go of minor frustrations and stay aligned with what's truly important. This practice not only reduces stress, but also helps us maintain a sense of purpose and direction. Ultimately, avoiding complaints is about taking responsibility for our own happiness and well-being. It's a reminder that we have the power to choose how we respond to life's challenges, and that by focusing on solutions rather than problems, we can live more fulfilling and productive lives. With this lesson in mind, we're ready to explore the next Stoic teaching, how to examine our desires and prioritize what truly matters. Now turning to the 11th lesson from Epictetus, we explore the importance of being mindful of our desires and how this practice can lead to greater contentment and peace of mind. Unchecked desires, as Epictetus teaches us, often lead to dissatisfaction and suffering. When we constantly chase after what we want without examining why we want it, we risk falling into a cycle of endless craving and disappointment. Stoicism encourages us to pause and reflect on our desires, asking ourselves whether they align with our values and contribute to our well-being. Desires in themselves are not inherently bad. They can motivate us to grow, achieve, and improve our lives. However, when we allow our desires to control us, they can become a source of inner turmoil. For example, wanting a promotion at work is natural, but if we tie our self-worth to that promotion or become consumed by the fear of not achieving it, we create unnecessary stress and unhappiness. Epictetus reminds us that true freedom comes from mastering our desires, not being enslaved by them. To practice mindfulness of our desires, start by examining what you truly want and why. Ask yourself, is this desire rooted in a genuine need, or is it driven by external pressures or societal expectations? Often, we desire things because we believe they will bring us happiness, status, or validation from others. But these external rewards are fleeting and unreliable. By focusing on what truly matters, such as personal growth, meaningful relationships, and inner peace, we can align our desires with our deeper values. Another key aspect of this lesson is learning to distinguish between needs and wants. Needs are essential for our survival and well-being, such as food, shelter, and connection. Wants, on the other hand, are often luxuries or conveniences that, while nice to have, are not necessary for a fulfilling life. By prioritizing our needs and being selective about our wants, we can reduce the burden of unmet desires and cultivate a sense of gratitude for what we already have. Epictetus also encourages us to practice moderation. Indulging in every desire, no matter how small, can lead to excess and imbalance. For instance, constantly seeking entertainment or material possessions can distract us from more meaningful pursuits. By practicing self-discipline and setting boundaries, we can enjoy life's pleasures without becoming dependent on them. This balance allows us to appreciate what we have without constantly craving more. Ultimately, being mindful of our desires is about taking control of our inner world. It's a reminder that happiness and fulfillment come from within, not from external achievements or possessions. By examining our desires and prioritizing what truly matters, we can free ourselves from the endless pursuit of more and find contentment in the present moment. With this lesson in mind, we're ready to explore the next Stoic teaching, how to focus on effort rather than outcomes and embrace the journey of personal growth. Now turning to the 12th lesson from Epictetus, we delve into the Stoic principle of not being attached to outcomes. This teaching emphasizes the importance of focusing on our efforts rather than the results we hope to achieve. In a world where success is often measured by external achievements, this mindset can be a powerful tool for reducing anxiety and maintaining motivation, even when things don't go as planned. Epictetus teaches us that while we can control our actions and intentions, we cannot control the outcomes of those actions. Life is unpredictable, and external circumstances are often beyond our influence. When we become overly attached to specific results, whether it's landing a job, winning a competition, or receiving recognition, we set ourselves up for disappointment and frustration. Instead, Stoicism encourages us to shift our focus to what we can control: our effort, our attitude, and our commitment to doing our best. For example, imagine you're working on a project at work. You've put in countless hours, done thorough research, and given it your all. But when the results come in, they're not what you hoped for. If you're attached to the outcome, this can feel like a crushing failure. But if you focus on the effort you put in, you can take pride in knowing you did everything within your power. This perspective not only reduces the sting of disappointment, but also helps you stay motivated to keep trying regardless of the outcome. This lesson is particularly valuable in today's fast-paced, results-driven world. Many of us feel pressure to achieve specific goals, whether it's earning a certain income, gaining social media followers, or meeting societal expectations. When we tie our self-worth to these external markers of success, we risk losing sight of what truly matters: the journey of growth and self-improvement. By detaching from outcomes, we free ourselves from the anxiety of constantly striving for perfection and allow ourselves to enjoy the process of learning and evolving. Practicing this mindset requires a shift in perspective. Instead of asking, "Did I succeed?" ask yourself, "Did I give it my best effort?" Celebrate the small victories along the way, like overcoming a challenge or learning a new skill, rather than waiting for the final result to determine your worth. This approach not only builds resilience but also fosters a sense of inner peace, knowing that you've done your part regardless of how things turn out. Epictetus reminds us that life is full of uncertainties and outcomes are never guaranteed. What we can control is how we respond to these uncertainties. By focusing on effort rather than results, we cultivate a mindset of perseverance and adaptability. This allows us to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and resilience, knowing that our true success lies in the integrity of our actions, not the outcomes they produce. With this lesson in mind, we're ready to explore the next Stoic teaching: the role of self-discipline in achieving inner peace and personal growth. Now turning to the 13th lesson from Epictetus, we explore the vital role of self-discipline in achieving inner peace and personal growth. Self-discipline, or the ability to control our impulses and stay focused on what truly matters, is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. It's not about punishing ourselves or living a rigid life, but rather about cultivating the strength to align our actions with our values and long-term goals. Epictetus teaches us that self-discipline begins with understanding what is within our control and what is not. While we can't control external events or other people's actions, we can control how we respond to them. This means making conscious choices about how we spend our time, how we manage our emotions, and how we prioritize our energy. By practicing self-discipline, we create a sense of order and purpose in our lives, which in turn fosters inner peace. One practical way to build self-discipline is through effective time management. Start by identifying your most important tasks and dedicating focused time to them each day. Avoid distractions like social media or unnecessary multitasking, and instead commit to completing one task at a time. This not only increases productivity, but also reduces the stress of feeling overwhelmed by an endless to-do list. Remember, self-discipline isn't about doing everything at once, it's about doing the right things consistently. Another area where self-discipline plays a crucial role is emotional regulation. Life is full of challenges, and it's easy to let our emotions take the wheel. However, Stoicism teaches us to pause and reflect before reacting. When faced with a difficult situation, take a moment to breathe and ask yourself, is this within my control? How can I respond in a way that aligns with my values? By practicing this pause, we gain the clarity needed to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. Self-discipline also involves setting boundaries and saying no when necessary. It's easy to overcommit ourselves, whether it's at work, in relationships, or with personal projects, but spreading ourselves too thin often leads to burnout and frustration. By learning to say no to things that don't align with our priorities, we create space for what truly matters. This not only strengthens our self-discipline, but also helps us live more intentionally. Finally, remember that self-discipline is a skill that grows with practice. Start small by setting achievable goals, like waking up 10 minutes earlier or dedicating 15 minutes a day to a new habit. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small, and use it as motivation to keep going. Over time, these small acts of self-discipline will compound, leading to greater personal growth and a deeper sense of inner peace. As we reflect on this lesson, we're reminded that self-discipline is not about perfection but about progress. It's about making choices that align with our values and taking responsibility for our actions. With this mindset, we're ready to explore the next Stoic teaching, the importance of treating others with kindness and fairness. Now turning to the 14th lesson from Epictetus, we delve into the importance of treating others with kindness and fairness, no matter how they behave toward us. This teaching is central to Stoic philosophy, reminding us that our actions and attitudes are within our control, even when others' behavior is not. By choosing to respond with compassion and fairness, we not only improve our relationships but also cultivate a deeper sense of inner harmony. Epictetus teaches us that kindness is not about expecting something in return or trying to change others. Instead, it's about aligning our actions with our values and maintaining our own moral integrity. When we treat others with respect and empathy, even in the face of rudeness or hostility, we demonstrate strength of character. This doesn't mean we tolerate mistreatment or ignore boundaries, but rather that we respond with clarity and compassion rather than anger or resentment. One practical way to practice kindness is by shifting our perspective. When someone acts unkindly, instead of reacting defensively, try to consider what might be causing their behavior. Perhaps they're dealing with stress, insecurity, or pain that you can't see. This doesn't excuse their actions, but understanding their struggles can help you respond with patience rather than judgment. As Epictetus reminds us, when someone behaves badly, ask yourself, what do they think is good? This simple question can help us approach difficult interactions with empathy rather than frustration. Another key aspect of kindness is fairness. Stoicism teaches us to treat others as we would want to be treated, regardless of their status or how they treat us. This means being honest, respectful, and considerate in all our interactions. For example, if a coworker makes a mistake, instead of criticizing them, offer support and guidance. By doing so, you create an environment of trust and collaboration which benefits everyone involved. Practicing kindness also has a profound impact on our own well-being. When we choose to act with compassion, we reduce the emotional burden of anger, resentment, and negativity. These emotions, if left unchecked, can weigh heavily on our minds and hearts. By letting go of grudges and responding with kindness, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and create space for peace and joy. Finally, remember that kindness is a habit that grows with practice. Start small by performing simple acts of generosity, like offering a genuine compliment or lending a helping hand. Over time, these small gestures will become second nature, and you'll find that treating others with kindness not only strengthens your relationships, but also brings you closer to living in alignment with Stoic principles. As we reflect on this lesson, we're reminded that kindness is a powerful tool for building healthier relationships and fostering inner harmony. With this in mind, we're ready to explore the next Stoic teaching, the importance of finding fulfillment within ourselves rather than seeking external validation. Now turning to the 15th lesson from Epictetus, we explore the idea of finding fulfillment within ourselves rather than seeking external validation. This teaching is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, emphasizing that true happiness and self-worth come from within, not from the opinions or approval of others. When we rely on external validation, we give away our power, allowing others to dictate our sense of worth. But when we cultivate inner confidence, we become free from the need for constant reassurance and approval. Epictetus reminds us that seeking validation from others is like building a house on unstable ground. No matter how much praise or recognition we receive, it will never be enough to sustain us in the long term. External validation is fleeting and unreliable, and relying on it can lead to anxiety, insecurity, and dissatisfaction. Instead, Stoicism teaches us to focus on our own values, actions, and character. By aligning our lives with what we truly believe in, we can find a deeper and more lasting sense of fulfillment. One practical way to stop seeking external validation is to shift your focus inward. Start by identifying your core values and what truly matters to you. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be, and what principles do I want to live by? When you have a clear sense of your values, you can measure your worth by how well you live up to them, rather than by how others perceive you. This shift in perspective helps you build self-confidence based on your own standards, not someone else's. Another strategy is to practice self-reflection regularly. Take time each day to reflect on your actions, decisions, and progress. Celebrate your achievements, no matter how small, and acknowledge areas where you can improve. This practice helps you develop a stronger sense of self-awareness and self-respect, which are essential for building inner confidence. As Epictetus said, know yourself, and you will know the universe and the gods. It's also important to let go of the need for perfection. Many of us seek external validation because we fear failure or judgment. But Stoicism teaches us that mistakes are a natural part of growth and learning. Instead of striving for perfection, focus on doing your best and learning from your experiences. When you embrace imperfection, you free yourself from the pressure to please others and can focus on becoming the best version of yourself. Finally, surround yourself with people who support and encourage you, but don't rely on them for your sense of worth. Seek out relationships that are based on mutual respect and understanding rather than approval seeking. When you build a strong foundation of self-confidence, you'll find that you no longer need constant validation from others to feel good about yourself. As we reflect on this lesson, we're reminded that true fulfillment comes from within. By focusing on our own values, actions, and growth, we can break free from the need for external validation and live with greater confidence and authenticity. With this in mind, we're ready to explore the next Stoic teaching, the practice of reflecting on our mortality to appreciate life and prioritize what truly matters. Now turning to the 16th lesson from Epictetus, we delve into the Stoic practice of memento mori, or remembering death. This ancient teaching invites us to reflect on the inevitability of our mortality, not to instill fear, but to inspire a deeper appreciation for life and a clearer focus on what truly matters. By keeping the reality of death in mind, we are reminded of the preciousness of time and the importance of living with intention and purpose. Epictetus teaches that contemplating our mortality helps us strip away distractions and trivial concerns. When we recognize that our time is limited, we are more likely to prioritize what is meaningful and let go of what is not. This practice encourages us to live authentically, aligning our actions with our values and making the most of each moment. It's a powerful reminder that life is fleeting, and every day is an opportunity to create something meaningful. One way to incorporate memento mori into your daily life is to take a few moments each day to reflect on the impermanence of life. You might ask yourself, if today were my last day, how would I want to spend it? Or, what legacy do I want to leave behind? These questions can help you focus on what truly matters, whether it's nurturing relationships, pursuing meaningful work, or simply savoring the present moment. By regularly reflecting on your mortality, you cultivate a sense of urgency and gratitude that can transform how you approach life. Another aspect of this practice is learning to embrace the inevitability of change and loss. Stoicism teaches us that everything in life is temporary, and accepting this truth can free us from clinging to things that are beyond our control. When we let go of the illusion of permanence, we can live more fully in the present, appreciating what we have while we have it. This mindset also helps us face challenges with greater resilience, knowing that even the most difficult moments are part of the larger tapestry of life. Memento mori also encourages us to live with integrity and purpose. When we are aware of our limited time, we are more likely to act in ways that align with our deepest values. We become less concerned with superficial achievements or external validation, and more focused on what brings us genuine fulfillment. This shift in perspective can lead to a more meaningful and satisfying life as we prioritize what truly matters to us. As we reflect on this lesson, we are reminded that the awareness of our mortality is not a source of despair, but a powerful tool for living with intention and gratitude. By embracing the practice of memento mori, we can cultivate a deeper appreciation for life, focus on what truly matters, and live each day with purpose. With this in mind, we're ready to explore the next Stoic teaching, the importance of avoiding envy and comparison to find true happiness and contentment. Now turning to the 17th lesson from Epictetus, we explore the destructive nature of envy and comparison. In a world where social media and societal pressures constantly highlight the achievements and possessions of others, it's easy to fall into the trap of measuring our worth against someone else's life. But Epictetus reminds us that this habit only leads to dissatisfaction and unhappiness. When we compare ourselves to others, we shift our focus away from our own journey and begin to resent what we lack rather than appreciating what we have. The Stoic philosopher teaches that true contentment comes from within, not from external validation or the approval of others. Envy, at its core, is a distraction, a way of diverting our energy toward things that are beyond our control. Instead of fixating on what others have or achieve, Epictetus encourages us to focus on our own progress and growth. By doing so, we reclaim our power and direct our attention toward what truly matters, becoming the best version of ourselves. One practical way to avoid envy is to reframe how we view the successes of others. Rather than feeling threatened or inadequate, we can choose to celebrate their achievements as inspiration. For example, if a colleague receives a promotion, instead of feeling jealous, we can acknowledge their hard work and use it as motivation to improve our own skills. This shift in perspective not only reduces feelings of envy, but also fosters a sense of connection and goodwill toward others. Another key aspect of this lesson is learning to appreciate our own unique path. Each of us has different strengths, challenges, and opportunities, and comparing ourselves to others ignores the individuality of our journey. Epictetus reminds us that our worth is not determined by how we measure up to someone else, but by how well we align our actions with our values and principles. When we focus on our own progress, we cultivate a sense of inner peace and self-acceptance that no amount of comparison can provide. To put this lesson into practice, try keeping a journal where you reflect on your personal growth and achievements. Write down the steps you've taken toward your goals, no matter how small, and celebrate your progress. This practice helps you stay grounded in your own journey and reduces the temptation to compare yourself to others. Additionally, when you notice feelings of envy arising, pause and ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? Or how can I channel this energy into improving myself? These questions can help you transform envy into a source of motivation rather than a source of discontent. As we reflect on this teaching, we are reminded that happiness and fulfillment come from within. By avoiding envy and comparison, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and create space for gratitude, growth, and genuine connection with others. With this mindset, we're ready to explore the next Stoic lesson, the importance of practicing humility in our pursuit of wisdom and personal development. Now turning to the 18th lesson from Epictetus, we delve into the virtue of humility and its profound role in Stoic philosophy. Humility, often misunderstood as weakness, is in fact a strength, a recognition of our limitations and an openness to learning from others. Epictetus teaches that true wisdom begins with the acknowledgement that we do not know everything. By embracing humility, we create space for growth, deeper connections, and a more grounded sense of self. In a world that often celebrates ego and self-promotion, humility stands as a counterbalance. It reminds us that no matter how much we achieve or how skilled we become, there is always more to learn. This mindset not only keeps us grounded but also fosters a sense of curiosity and respect for the knowledge and experiences of others. When we approach life with humility, we become better listeners, more empathetic friends, and more effective collaborators. One practical way to practice humility is to actively seek feedback from others. Instead of viewing criticism as a threat to our ego, we can see it as an opportunity to improve. For example, if a mentor or colleague offers constructive advice rather than becoming defensive, we can thank them for their insights and reflect on how we can apply their suggestions. This approach not only strengthens our relationships but also accelerates our personal growth. Another aspect of humility is recognizing that we are part of something larger than ourselves. Epictetus reminds us that we are not the center of the universe, and our actions should reflect a sense of responsibility toward others and the world around us. By letting go of the need to always be right or to dominate every conversation, we create an environment where collaboration and mutual respect can thrive. To cultivate humility in daily life, try reflecting on your interactions at the end of each day. Ask yourself questions like, did I listen as much as I spoke? Or did I acknowledge the contributions of others? These reflections can help you become more aware of moments where humility can be practiced and strengthened. Additionally, when faced with success, take a moment to recognize the role that others played in your achievements. Gratitude and humility go hand in hand, and together they foster a sense of interconnectedness and shared purpose. As we embrace this lesson, we are reminded that humility is not about diminishing ourselves, but about elevating our understanding of the world and our place within it. By practicing humility, we open ourselves to continuous learning, deeper relationships, and a more meaningful life. With this foundation, we're ready to explore the next Stoic lesson, the importance of being present in the moment and cultivating mindfulness in our daily lives. Now turning to the 19th lesson from Epictetus, we explore the importance of being present in the moment, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy and a powerful tool for cultivating inner peace. In a world filled with distractions where our minds often wander to the past or future, Epictetus reminds us that true contentment lies in fully experiencing the here and now. By focusing on the present, we free ourselves from the anxieties of what has been and the uncertainties of what is to come. Being present means paying attention to what is happening right now without judgment or resistance. It's about fully engaging with the task at hand, whether it's a conversation with a loved one, a walk in nature, or even a simple meal. When we are present, we notice the details we might otherwise overlook: the warmth of the sun, the sound of birdsong, or the taste of our food. This heightened awareness not only enriches our experiences, but also helps us respond to life's challenges with clarity and calm. One practical way to cultivate mindfulness is through meditation. Even just a few minutes a day can make a significant difference. Find a quiet space, sit comfortably, and focus on your breath. Notice the sensation of air entering and leaving your body. When your mind inevitably wanders, gently bring your attention back to your breath. Over time, this practice strengthens your ability to stay present, even in the midst of chaos. Another effective technique is deep breathing. Whenever you feel overwhelmed or distracted, take a moment to pause and take 3 slow, deep breaths. Inhale deeply through your nose, hold for a few seconds, and exhale slowly through your mouth. This simple act can instantly ground you in the present moment, helping you regain focus and composure. Epictetus also encourages us to practice mindfulness in our daily routines. For example, when you're washing dishes, focus on the sensation of the water, the sound of the dishes clinking, and the rhythm of your movements. By turning mundane tasks into opportunities for mindfulness, you transform them into moments of peace and reflection. Being present also means letting go of the need to control everything. Often, our stress comes from trying to manage outcomes that are beyond our control. Instead, focus on what you can do in this moment, whether it's preparing for a meeting, spending time with family, or simply resting. Give it your full attention. This shift in focus not only reduces anxiety, but also allows you to approach life with greater intention and joy. As we embrace this lesson, we are reminded that the present moment is all we truly have. By practicing mindfulness, we learn to live more fully, appreciate the beauty around us, and navigate life's challenges with grace. With this foundation, we're ready to explore the next Stoic lesson: how to overcome the fear of failure and embrace it as a natural part of growth. Now turning to the 20th lesson from Epictetus, we delve into the transformative power of embracing failure, a concept that often feels counterintuitive but is essential for personal growth. Epictetus teaches us that failure is not something to fear or avoid, but rather a natural and inevitable part of the journey toward wisdom and resilience. When we shift our perspective, we can see failure not as a setback but as a stepping stone, offering invaluable lessons that shape our character and strengthen our resolve. Think about it, every great achievement in history has been built on a foundation of failures. Thomas Edison, for example, famously said he didn't fail 1,000 times while inventing the light bulb. He simply discovered 1,000 ways that didn't work. This mindset is deeply Stoic. It reminds us that failure is not the opposite of success but a necessary part of the process. By embracing this truth, we free ourselves from the paralyzing fear of making mistakes and instead approach challenges with curiosity and determination. So how can we apply this lesson in our own lives? Start by reframing failure as feedback. When something doesn't go as planned, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What did this experience reveal about my strengths, weaknesses, or assumptions? By treating failure as a teacher, you transform it into a tool for growth rather than a source of shame or regret. Another key practice is to focus on effort rather than outcomes. Epictetus reminds us that we cannot control external results, but we can control how we show up and what we put into our efforts. When you pour your energy into doing your best, regardless of the outcome, you build resilience and self-respect. even if things don't go as planned, you can take pride in knowing you gave it your all. It's also important to cultivate self-compassion. When you fail, resist the urge to be overly critical of yourself. Instead, treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend. Acknowledge your feelings, but don't let them define you. Remember, failure is a moment in time, not a reflection of your worth or potential. Finally, use failure as an opportunity to practice courage. Every time you face a setback, you have a choice to retreat or to rise. By choosing to move forward, even when it's uncomfortable, you build the mental and emotional strength needed to tackle future challenges. Over time, this courage becomes a habit, empowering you to take risks, pursue your goals, and live a more fulfilling life. As we embrace this lesson, we learn to see failure not as an enemy but as an ally, one that guides us, strengthens us, and ultimately helps us become the best versions of ourselves. With this mindset, we're ready to explore the next Stoic lesson: how to let go of resentment and find freedom through forgiveness. Now, turning to the 21st lesson from Epictetus, we explore the profound impact of letting go of resentment, a practice that can liberate us from emotional burdens and bring us closer to inner peace. Resentment, as Epictetus teaches, is like carrying a heavy weight that drains our energy and distracts us from living fully. When we hold onto grudges, we allow past hurts to control our present, trapping us in a cycle of negativity and pain. But forgiveness, though not always easy, offers a path to freedom. Think about it. Resentment doesn't harm the person who wronged us, it harms us. It keeps us tied to the past, replaying events we cannot change, and robs us of the joy and clarity we could experience in the present. Epictetus reminds us that we cannot control how others act, but we can control how we respond. By choosing to let go of resentment, we reclaim our power and open ourselves to healing. So how can we practice forgiveness and release resentment? The first step is to acknowledge the hurt. It's okay to feel anger or sadness when someone has wronged you. These emotions are natural, but they don't have to define you. Allow yourself to process them without judgment, recognizing that they are temporary and do not have to dictate your actions. Next, try to see the situation from the other person's perspective. This doesn't mean excusing their behavior, but understanding that everyone is shaped by their own struggles, fears, and limitations. When we recognize that people often act out of ignorance or pain rather than malice, it becomes easier to let go of the need for revenge or retribution. Another powerful practice is to focus on the present moment. Resentment thrives when we dwell on the past, but mindfulness can help us break free. When you find yourself replaying a hurtful event, gently redirect your attention to what's happening right now. Take a deep breath, notice your surroundings, and remind yourself that the past cannot be changed, but the present is yours to shape. It's also helpful to practice self-compassion. Forgiving others often begins with forgiving ourselves. Recognize that holding onto resentment is a human response, but it's not serving you. Be kind to yourself as you work through these emotions, and remind yourself that letting go is a process, not an event. Finally, consider the long-term benefits of forgiveness. When you release resentment, you create space for peace, joy, and connection. You free up mental and emotional energy that can be directed toward more meaningful pursuits. And perhaps most importantly, you break the cycle of negativity, allowing yourself to move forward with clarity and purpose. As we embrace this lesson, we learn that forgiveness is not about condoning harmful behavior. It's about freeing ourselves from the chains of resentment. By letting go, we open the door to a more peaceful and fulfilling life. With this mindset, we're ready to explore the next Stoic lesson: the value of patience in achieving long-term goals and maintaining inner harmony. Now turning to the 22nd lesson from Epictetus, we delve into the timeless value of patience, a virtue that not only helps us achieve long-term goals but also fosters inner peace and strengthens our relationships. In a world that often prioritizes speed and instant results, patience can feel like a rare and challenging quality to cultivate. Yet, as Epictetus teaches, it is through patience that we build resilience, deepen our understanding, and create lasting success. Patience begins with accepting that some things take time. Whether it's mastering a new skill, building a meaningful relationship, or working toward a personal goal, progress often unfolds gradually. When we rush or demand immediate results, we risk frustration and burnout. But when we embrace patience, we allow ourselves the space to grow and learn at a natural pace. This mindset not only reduces stress but also helps us appreciate the journey rather than fixating solely on the destination. In relationships, patience plays a crucial role in fostering understanding and connection. Think about a time when you felt misunderstood or when someone else's actions tested your tolerance. In those moments, reacting impulsively can escalate conflict, while responding with patience can create an opportunity for dialogue and resolution. By giving others the time and grace to express themselves, we build trust and strengthen our bonds. Patience reminds us that everyone is on their own path, and understanding often comes with time and effort. Patience also enhances our personal well-being by helping us navigate life's uncertainties. When faced with setbacks or delays, it's easy to feel discouraged or anxious. But patience teaches us to trust the process and remain steady in the face of challenges. For example, imagine waiting for a job offer or the outcome of an important project. Instead of succumbing to worry, practicing patience allows us to focus on what we can control: our effort, attitude, and preparation, while letting go of what we cannot. One practical way to cultivate patience is through mindfulness. By staying present and fully engaged in the moment, we can reduce the urge to rush or become frustrated by delays. Simple practices like deep breathing, meditation, or even taking a few moments to observe your surroundings can help you ground yourself and approach situations with calmness and clarity. Another strategy is to reframe waiting as an opportunity rather than a burden. Instead of viewing delays as wasted time, consider them a chance to reflect, recharge, or prepare for what's ahead. For instance, if you're stuck in traffic, use that time to listen to an inspiring podcast or reflect on your goals. By shifting your perspective, you can transform moments of waiting into valuable experiences. Ultimately, patience is a form of self-respect. It's a recognition that good things often take time and that rushing through life can rob us of the richness of the present moment. When we practice patience, we not only achieve our goals more effectively, but also cultivate a sense of inner harmony that carries us through life's ups and downs. As we embrace this lesson, we see that patience is not passive. It's an active choice to trust the process, respect others, and honor our own growth. With this mindset, we're ready to explore the next Stoic lesson: how to find contentment in what we have rather than constantly striving for more. Now turning to the 23rd lesson from Epictetus, we explore the profound idea of finding contentment in what we have, a practice that stands in stark contrast to the modern tendency to constantly chase more. In a world driven by consumerism and the pursuit of external achievements, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing that happiness lies just beyond the next goal or possession. But as Epictetus reminds us, true contentment comes from within, from appreciating what we already have rather than endlessly striving for what we lack. Contentment begins with a shift in perspective. Instead of focusing on what's missing, we can train ourselves to notice and appreciate the abundance already present in our lives. This doesn't mean we stop growing or setting goals, but rather that we approach life with a sense of gratitude and sufficiency. For example, take a moment to reflect on the simple things: your health, the support of loved ones, or even the beauty of nature around you. These are gifts that often go unnoticed when we're preoccupied with what we don't have. One powerful way to cultivate contentment is through the practice of gratitude. By regularly acknowledging the good in our lives, we rewire our minds to focus on positivity rather than scarcity. A simple daily habit like writing down 3 things you're grateful for can have a transformative effect over time. Gratitude helps us recognize that even in challenging times, there are still reasons to feel thankful. It shifts our attention from what's lacking to what's abundant, fostering a sense of peace and fulfillment. Another strategy is to simplify your life. Often, the desire for more stems from a cluttered mind and an overcomplicated lifestyle. By decluttering your physical space, reducing unnecessary commitments, and prioritizing what truly matters, you create room for contentment to flourish. For instance, instead of chasing after the latest trends or accumulating possessions, focus on experiences and relationships that bring genuine joy. Simplifying allows you to live more intentionally and appreciate the richness of the present moment. Epictetus also teaches us to detach our happiness from external circumstances. While it's natural to desire success, recognition, or material comforts, these things are ultimately outside our control. When we tie our sense of worth to them, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Instead, contentment comes from aligning our happiness with our values and inner state. Ask yourself, what truly matters to me? What brings me lasting fulfillment? By answering these questions, you can focus on what's within your control and let go of the rest. It's also important to recognize that contentment doesn't mean stagnation. You can still pursue growth and improvement while being at peace with where you are right now. Think of it as enjoying the journey rather than fixating on the destination. For example, if you're working toward a career goal, celebrate the progress you've made so far instead of waiting for the final achievement to feel satisfied. This mindset not only reduces stress but also makes the process more enjoyable. Ultimately, being content with what you have is a form of freedom. It liberates you from the endless cycle of wanting more and allows you to fully experience the richness of life as it is. When you practice contentment, you cultivate a deep sense of inner peace that isn't dependent on external circumstances. This lesson from Epictetus reminds us that true wealth lies not in what we acquire, but in our ability to appreciate and cherish what we already possess. As we embrace this lesson, we prepare ourselves for the next Stoic teaching, how to break free from the habit of overthinking and focus on taking meaningful action. Now turning to the 24th lesson from Epictetus, we delve into the challenge of overthinking, a habit that can trap us in a cycle of anxiety and inaction. In a world filled with endless choices and uncertainties, it's easy to get caught up in analyzing every possible outcome, replaying conversations, or worrying about the future. But as Epictetus teaches us, overthinking often leads to paralysis, preventing us from taking meaningful steps forward. The key is to recognize when our thoughts are spiraling and to take deliberate action to break free from this mental trap. Overthinking often stems from a desire for control. We want to anticipate every possible scenario, avoid mistakes, and ensure the best outcome. But the truth is, life is unpredictable, and no amount of mental rehearsal can prepare us for every twist and turn. When we overanalyze, we waste precious energy on things we can't control, leaving us exhausted and stuck. The Stoic approach is to focus on what we can influence, our actions, decisions, and responses, and let go of the rest. One effective way to combat overthinking is to shift your focus to action. Instead of endlessly weighing pros and cons or imagining worst-case scenarios, take a small, concrete step toward your goal. For example, if you're overthinking a career decision, start by researching one aspect of the job or reaching out to someone in the field for advice. Action creates momentum and helps you move forward, even if the path isn't perfectly clear. Remember, progress doesn't require certainty, it requires courage. Another powerful tool is mindfulness. Overthinking often pulls us into the past or future, causing us to lose touch with the present moment. Mindfulness brings us back to the here and now, helping us break free from the grip of anxious thoughts. Try this simple exercise. Take a few deep breaths and focus on your senses. What do you see, hear, or feel in this moment? By grounding yourself in the present, you can interrupt the cycle of overthinking and regain clarity. It's also helpful to set boundaries for your thoughts. When you notice yourself overanalyzing, ask, is this thought productive? Is it within my control? If the answer is no, gently redirect your focus to something more constructive. For instance, if you're replaying a past mistake, remind yourself that you can't change what happened, but you can learn from it and make better choices moving forward. This shift in perspective can help you let go of unproductive thoughts and focus on what truly matters. Epictetus reminds us that overthinking is a form of mental clutter. Just as we declutter our physical spaces to create a sense of calm, we can declutter our minds by letting go of unnecessary thoughts. One way to do this is by journaling. Write down your worries, fears, or doubts and then challenge them. Are they based on facts or assumptions? What's the worst that could happen and how would you handle it? Putting your thoughts on paper can help you gain perspective and reduce their emotional weight. Finally, practice self-compassion. Overthinking often comes from a place of fear of failure, judgment, or the unknown. Instead of being hard on yourself for overanalyzing, acknowledge that it's a natural response to uncertainty. Treat yourself with kindness and remind yourself that it's okay not to have all the answers. By cultivating self-compassion, you create a sense of inner safety that makes it easier to let go of overthinking and embrace the present moment. As we learn to break free from the habit of overthinking, we prepare ourselves for the next Stoic lesson, the importance of taking responsibility for our actions and choices. Now turning to the 25th lesson from Epictetus, we explore the Stoic principle of taking responsibility for our actions. In a world where it's easy to blame others or external circumstances for our struggles, Stoicism teaches us that true freedom and growth come from owning our choices. Epictetus reminds us that while we can't control everything that happens to us, we always have control over how we respond. By taking responsibility for our actions, we reclaim our power and set the stage for meaningful self-improvement. Taking responsibility starts with acknowledging that our choices shape our lives. Every decision, no matter how small, contributes to the direction we're heading. When we blame others or make excuses, we give away our agency and remain stuck in a cycle of frustration. But when we own our actions, we take the first step toward creating the life we want. For example, if you're unhappy in your job, instead of blaming your boss or the company, ask yourself, what steps can I take to improve my situation? Perhaps it's updating your skills, networking, or exploring new opportunities. By focusing on what you can do, you shift from being a victim of circumstance to an active participant in your own life. Taking responsibility also means accepting the consequences of our actions, both good and bad. When things go well, it's easy to take credit, but when mistakes happen, it's tempting to deflect blame. Stoicism challenges us to embrace both outcomes with humility. If you make a mistake, own it, learn from it, and move forward. This approach not only builds character, but also earns the respect of others. People admire those who can admit their faults and take steps to correct them. It's a sign of strength, not weakness. Another key aspect of personal accountability is aligning your actions with your values. Epictetus teaches that living with integrity means doing what's right, even when it's difficult. For instance, if you value honesty, but find yourself tempted to cut corners at work, taking responsibility means choosing honesty over convenience. This alignment between your actions and values fosters a sense of inner harmony and self-respect. It's a reminder that you're living authentically, not just going through the motions. Taking responsibility also involves recognizing the impact of your actions on others. Stoicism emphasizes the interconnectedness of humanity, reminding us that our choices ripple out and affect those around us. For example, if you're short-tempered with a colleague, it not only strains your relationship but also creates a negative atmosphere for others. By taking responsibility for your behavior, you can apologize, make amends, and strive to do better. This not only repairs relationships but also strengthens your sense of empathy and accountability. Finally, taking responsibility is a lifelong practice. It's not about being perfect, but about being willing to grow. Each day presents new opportunities to make choices that reflect your values and goals. When you stumble, as we all do, the Stoic approach is to reflect, learn, and move forward with greater wisdom. By embracing personal accountability, you cultivate a mindset of resilience and self-respect that empowers you to navigate life's challenges with grace. As we learn to take responsibility for our actions, we prepare ourselves for the next Stoic lesson, the importance of practicing empathy and understanding others' perspectives. Now turning to the 26th lesson from Epictetus, we delve into the Stoic practice of empathy. Empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, is a cornerstone of meaningful relationships and a harmonious society. Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot control how others behave, we can control how we respond to them. By practicing empathy, we cultivate compassion, strengthen our connections, and foster a deeper understanding of the world around us. Empathy begins with the recognition that everyone is fighting their own battles. Epictetus reminds us that people's actions are often driven by their own struggles, fears, and desires. When someone acts in a way that seems hurtful or irrational, instead of reacting with anger or judgment, try to consider what might be motivating their behavior. For example, if a friend cancels plans last minute instead of feeling slighted, consider that they might be dealing with stress or personal challenges. By approaching the situation with empathy, you not only preserve the relationship but also create space for open communication and mutual support. Practicing empathy also involves actively listening to others. In a world where everyone is eager to share their own opinions, truly listening is a rare and valuable skill. When someone speaks, give them your full attention. Resist the urge to interrupt or formulate your response while they're still talking. Instead, focus on understanding their perspective and emotions. This simple act of listening can transform conversations, making others feel heard and valued. It's a powerful way to build trust and deepen your connections. Another important aspect of empathy is putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Imagine how you would feel if you were in their situation. For instance, if a colleague is struggling with a heavy workload, consider how you would want to be supported if the roles were reversed. This shift in perspective can inspire you to offer help or encouragement, creating a more supportive and collaborative environment. Empathy not only benefits others but also enriches your own life by fostering a sense of shared humanity. Empathy also plays a crucial role in resolving conflicts. When disagreements arise, it's easy to become defensive or dismissive. However, by approaching the situation with empathy, you can de-escalate tension and find common ground. Try to understand the other person's point of view and acknowledge their feelings, even if you don't agree with their actions. This doesn't mean you have to compromise your values, but it does mean showing respect and seeking a solution that works for everyone. Empathy transforms conflicts into opportunities for growth and understanding. Finally, practicing empathy helps us recognize our interconnectedness. Stoicism teaches that we are all part of a larger whole, and our actions have a ripple effect on those around us. By treating others with kindness and understanding, we contribute to a more compassionate and harmonious world. Empathy reminds us that we are not alone in our struggles and that we have the power to make a positive difference in the lives of others. As we learn to practice empathy, we prepare ourselves for the next Stoic lesson, embracing change as a natural part of life. Now turning to the 27th lesson from Epictetus, we explore the Stoic principle of embracing change. Change is an inevitable part of life, yet it often brings uncertainty and fear. Stoicism teaches us that resisting change only leads to suffering, while accepting it allows us to grow and thrive. By learning to see change as an opportunity rather than a threat, we can navigate life's transitions with resilience and optimism. Epictetus reminds us that everything in life is temporary. Relationships, careers, health, and even our own identities are subject to change. Instead of clinging to what we cannot control, we can focus on how we respond to these shifts. For example, if you lose a job, instead of dwelling on the loss, consider it an opportunity to explore new paths or develop new skills. This mindset shift can transform a seemingly negative event into a stepping stone for personal growth. One practical way to embrace change is to cultivate flexibility in your thinking. When faced with a new situation, ask yourself, how can I adapt to this? Rather than resisting or complaining, focus on finding solutions and making the best of the circumstances. For instance, if a sudden move to a new city disrupts your routine, view it as a chance to meet new people, discover new places, and broaden your horizons. Flexibility allows you to flow with life's changes instead of being overwhelmed by them. Another strategy is to focus on what remains constant within you, your values, principles, and inner strength. While external circumstances may shift, your ability to choose how you respond remains unchanged. By anchoring yourself in your core beliefs, you can face change with confidence and clarity. For example, if a relationship ends, remind yourself of your worth and the lessons you've learned. This inner stability helps you move forward without losing sight of who you are. Stoicism also encourages us to prepare for change by practicing voluntary discomfort. By intentionally stepping out of your comfort zone, whether through fasting, taking cold showers, or trying new activities, you build resilience and adaptability. These small acts of discomfort train your mind to handle larger changes with ease. Over time, you'll find that what once seemed daunting becomes manageable, and you'll approach life's uncertainties with greater courage. Finally, embracing change requires a shift in perspective. Instead of viewing change as something to fear, see it as a natural and necessary part of growth. Just as seasons change, bringing both challenges and opportunities, so too does life. By accepting this truth, you can approach each new phase with curiosity and optimism, knowing that every change holds the potential for learning and transformation. As we learn to embrace change, we prepare ourselves for the next Stoic lesson, living with integrity. Now turning to the 28th lesson from Epictetus, we delve into the importance of living with integrity. Integrity is the foundation of a meaningful life, as it involves aligning our actions with our deepest values and principles. When we live with integrity, we not only build trust with others, but also cultivate a strong sense of self-respect and purpose. Epictetus teaches us that true freedom comes from being consistent in our thoughts, words, and deeds, ensuring that we remain true to ourselves no matter the circumstances. Living with integrity means making choices that reflect your core beliefs, even when it's difficult or inconvenient. For example, if you value honesty, you might choose to speak the truth in a situation where lying would be easier. This alignment between your values and actions strengthens your character and builds trust with those around you. People are naturally drawn to those who are authentic and reliable, and this trust forms the basis of strong, meaningful relationships. Integrity also fosters self-respect. When you act in ways that are consistent with your values, you reinforce your sense of self-worth. You know that you've done the right thing, even if no one else is watching. This inner confidence allows you to face challenges with courage and resilience, knowing that you've stayed true to yourself. For instance, if you're faced with a moral dilemma at work, choosing the ethical path, even if it's unpopular, will leave you with a clear conscience and a stronger sense of identity. Moreover, living with integrity gives life a sense of purpose. When your actions are guided by your values, you create a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling. You're no longer drifting aimlessly, but are instead moving toward goals that matter to you. For example, if you value compassion, you might volunteer your time to help others, knowing that your efforts are making a positive impact. This sense of purpose fuels your motivation and helps you stay focused on what truly matters. Epictetus reminds us that integrity isn't about perfection, but about consistency. It's about striving to do the right thing even when it's hard and learning from your mistakes when you fall short. By practicing integrity daily, you build a life of authenticity and trust, both with yourself and with others. This alignment between your values and actions not only brings inner peace but also inspires those around you to live with integrity as well. As we embrace the importance of living with integrity, we prepare ourselves for the next Stoic lesson, becoming lifelong learners. Now turning to the 29th lesson from Epictetus, we explore the value of being a lifelong learner. Epictetus believed that the pursuit of knowledge is not just a task for the young, but a lifelong journey that enriches every stage of life. By adopting a growth mindset, we open ourselves to new possibilities, deepen our understanding of the world, and continuously evolve as individuals. This lesson reminds us that curiosity and a willingness to learn are essential tools for personal development and a fulfilling life. Being a lifelong learner means embracing the idea that there is always more to discover, whether it's about the world, others, or ourselves. It's about staying curious and asking questions, even when we think we already know the answers. For example, instead of dismissing a new perspective, take the time to understand it. This openness not only broadens your horizons, but also helps you adapt to change and overcome challenges with greater ease. Learning doesn't have to be formal or structured. It can be as simple as reading a book, listening to a podcast, or engaging in meaningful conversations with others. The key is to remain curious and proactive in seeking out knowledge. For instance, if you're passionate about history, you might explore a new era or culture you've never studied before. Or if you're interested in personal growth, you could learn a new skill or practice mindfulness to better understand your thoughts and emotions. Epictetus teaches us that learning is not just about acquiring information, but about applying it to improve our lives. When we actively seek knowledge, we become better equipped to handle life's challenges and make wiser decisions. For example, learning about Stoic philosophy can help you develop resilience and emotional strength, while studying communication skills can enhance your relationships. Every piece of knowledge you gain becomes a tool that empowers you to live more effectively and meaningfully. Moreover, being a lifelong learner fosters humility. It reminds us that no matter how much we know, there is always more to learn. This humility keeps us grounded and open to growth, preventing us from becoming complacent or arrogant. For instance, if you're an expert in your field, staying curious about emerging trends or alternative approaches can keep you innovative and adaptable. This mindset not only benefits you personally, but also inspires those around you to embrace learning as a lifelong journey. As we commit to being lifelong learners, we prepare ourselves for the final Stoic lesson, remembering our purpose. By continuously seeking knowledge and growth, we align ourselves with a life of intention and meaning, ready to embrace the wisdom that lies ahead. Now turning to the 30th and final lesson from Epictetus, we arrive at the cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, remembering your purpose. Epictetus taught that living with intention and clarity about what truly matters is the key to a meaningful and fulfilling life. This lesson invites us to pause and reflect on our deepest values, goals, and the legacy we wish to leave behind. By aligning our actions with our purpose, we not only find direction but also cultivate a sense of inner peace and satisfaction. Living with purpose means understanding why you do what you do. It's about making choices that resonate with your core values rather than simply following societal expectations or fleeting desires. For example, if your purpose is to contribute to your community, you might volunteer your time or mentor others. If it's to grow as an individual, you might prioritize learning, self-reflection, and personal development. When your actions are guided by a clear sense of purpose, even the smallest tasks take on greater significance. Epictetus reminds us that purpose is not something we stumble upon by chance, but something we actively cultivate through reflection and action. Take time to ask yourself, what brings me joy? What am I passionate about? What kind of person do I want to become? These questions can help you uncover your true purpose and guide your decisions. For instance, if you value kindness, you might make it a daily practice to show compassion to others, even in small ways. If you value growth, you might set goals that challenge you to step out of your comfort zone. Remembering your purpose also helps you navigate life's challenges with resilience. When faced with obstacles, knowing your why can provide the motivation to persevere. For example, if your purpose is to provide for your family, you might find the strength to overcome setbacks at work. If your purpose is to inspire others, you might use your struggles as opportunities to share lessons and encourage those around you. Purpose gives meaning to the difficulties we face and transforms them into opportunities for growth. Moreover, living with purpose fosters a sense of fulfillment that goes beyond external achievements. It's not about chasing titles, wealth, or recognition, but about aligning your life with what truly matters to you. For instance, someone who values creativity might find fulfillment in painting, writing, or designing, even if it doesn't bring fame or fortune. Someone who values connection might prioritize building deep, meaningful relationships over superficial social status. Purpose reminds us that true success is measured by how authentically we live, not by how much we accumulate. As we conclude these 30 Stoic lessons from Epictetus, let this final lesson serve as a call to action. Take a moment to reflect on your purpose and how you can live more intentionally each day. Whether it's through small, consistent actions or bold, life-changing decisions, every step you take toward your purpose brings you closer to a life of meaning and fulfillment. By embracing these teachings, you equip yourself with the wisdom and resilience to navigate life's challenges and create a legacy that reflects your deepest values. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the timeless wisdom of Epictetus. If you found these lessons valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more insights on Stoicism and personal growth. Share your thoughts in the comments below. How do you plan to live with purpose? Until next time, stay curious, stay resilient, and remember, your purpose is your compass. Now turning to the conclusion of our exploration, let's take a moment to reflect on the 30 Stoic lessons from Epictetus that we've journeyed through together. These teachings, rooted in ancient wisdom, remain as relevant today as they were centuries ago. From focusing on what we can control to embracing adversity as an opportunity, each lesson offers a practical guide to living with resilience, clarity, and purpose. Whether it's practicing gratitude, cultivating inner freedom, or remembering our mortality, these principles remind us that true strength comes from within. The beauty of Stoicism lies in its simplicity and universality. These lessons are not just philosophical ideas, but actionable tools that can transform how we approach life's challenges. By applying these teachings, we can navigate uncertainty with calm, build stronger relationships, and find meaning in even the most difficult moments. For instance, when faced with criticism, we can choose to focus on our integrity rather than others' opinions. When confronted with change, we can embrace it as a natural part of growth. And when we feel overwhelmed, we can return to the present moment, grounding ourselves in what truly matters. As we wrap up, I encourage you to take these lessons to heart and integrate them into your daily life. Start small, perhaps by practicing gratitude each morning or reframing a challenge as an opportunity for growth. Over time, these small steps can lead to profound shifts in how you experience the world. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. Share your experiences, insights, and questions in the comments below. How have these lessons resonated with you? What changes have you noticed in your mindset or actions? Your stories can inspire and uplift others in this community. If you found value in these teachings, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more Stoic wisdom and personal growth content. There's so much more to explore, and I'm excited to continue this journey with you. Together, we can build lives of purpose, resilience, and inner peace. Thank you for joining me, and until next time, stay curious, stay strong, and keep living with intention. Your purpose is your compass, let it guide you forward.